So Cammy on Twitter posted this, rumors about the next Santa Monica game from credible sources. These are the bullet points. Now, some of these I've heard, some of them I've not. So I'm not saying that they're not real. I just haven't heard some of these rumors myself. So they could be real. It could be legitimate. I just haven't heard some of them. For example, it says Cory Barlog is directing. That I think is fair. I do think that he's probably directing the next thing that releases, because that is our understanding. The second bullet point I've not actually heard. Not a new IP, but it might feel like one. This, are you ready? Are you ready for pure copium? Hopium? Are you ready? What would be a new IP or a not new IP that them returning to would feel fresh, with like a fresh reboot? What could do that? For me, I think there's one answer. There's one slam dunk answer that would be so easy for them to just kill it. And then there's what I think is probably the more realistic option. Okay, like what's actually happening. But my hopium for what it is something they previously touched, enhanced. And I know that because their logo is in the splash screen. Any guesses? Yeah, I'm just pure hopium that it's the Order 1886. pure hopium, pure hope. Jacob says, if you're thinking the Order, someone may have already debunked it. Shut up. Get banned. You should send me whatever that debunk is so that we can look at it. That would be interesting. But the pure hopium, okay? Realistically, I've not heard this. I've not heard that it's not a new IP. What my understanding was that it was a new IP and it was expected to maybe be sci-fi. So I'm not sure what his sources are that are saying it's not sci-fi and it's not a new IP, but he seems confident about it. Put it in all caps. That's interesting. So if I'm going through the laundry list of possibilities and things that it could be, I'm like Order 1886 or maybe a much older IP, but I'm also like, what's an older IP that would actually interest Cory? And that's one where I just don't know. I really don't know. Yeah. Mods, please ban Luke from his own stream, please. Yeah. Can you please time out Luke officially forever? So I don't know what that would be, honestly. Sly Cooper, maybe. I think that would be like such a crazy pivot. That's possible. What it could also mean, again, it's Gaming Leaks and Rumors put together a list of leaks and rumors as they do recently. Okay, well, maybe we pull that up. I'm sure Cory is just sitting in chat laughing his ass off, being like, they have no idea I reinvented Tetris. They have no idea. No idea, frankly. Cory Barlog, Santa Monica's next project, Everything We Know, confirmed to be confirmed to be directed by Cory Barlog. Okay. This is from Jason Schreier. Very reliable. Very, very reliable. Okay. It's Santa Monica's next big thing. Last time I spoke to anyone about it a month or two ago, it was going well. Neither a new IP nor sci-fi. It's not a new IP, but it might feel like one. Maybe that's why people are confused. The sci-fi stuff that people have apparently believed for years now is nonsense. Oh, Jason said it. Jason, you sly dog. I'll put it this way. It's not a new IP, but it might feel like one. Maybe that's why people are confused. Please don't ask me any more questions about this. If I wind up reporting more information at any point in the future, it'll be in an article, not on a forum. I can also confirm that Ashong knows what they're talking about and that the sci-fi stuff that people have apparently believed for years now is nonsense. And Ash Hong, was that the first post? Dude, this is comprehensive. Golly. All sorts of stuff in here. That's wild. Anyway, so there's that. Okay. Ash Hong, a Reset Era user corroborated by Jason, so that they said it's not a licensed IP. So don't worry. Okay. So it's not a licensed IP. Okay. I'm tracking. Tom Henderson said it's a new mainline game. God of War game is in the works with Egyptian elements. What he said, I think this was on his podcast. There's also a new mainline God of War in development, which has like kind of similar themes. I think like God of War, but Kratos this time has like, it's like an Egyptian sword, like a curved Egyptian sword. Oh, like what they call it, sabers. Yeah, something like that. So I don't know, but yeah, like the Prince of Persia's got or whatever. Sorry. It's tough to transcribe a podcast and it not sound stupid. Shinobi said it's not an Atreus focused title, considering what Cory Barlog told Eric Williams about what absolutely had to happen in the latest God of War, and given that Cory's game won't be a new IP but could pass for one, I think a game with Atreus as the main character is probably a good bet. And then Shinobi posted an "Are you sure?" GIF. Oh, okay. A Dumb and Dumber gift. I mean, that's definitive, frankly. Okay, so he's not so sure about an Atreus game. Okay. Shouldn't be as far as 2028 for release. What was said was multiple full production teams are extremely rare, so I guess they have a big team on Cory's game for around 2028 with a smaller pre-production team on the God of War remake. And Shinobi said not that far, barring any delays, of course. Debunked IPs through vague answers, such as The Order. What's this? Don't do this to me. Has an insider ruled out Cory's game being a reimagining of the Order 1886 IP? And then he posted the gif of being sprayed by a water bottle. Damn it, dude. Shinobi, you better be full of crap, dude. That would be so cool if they did that. But I will admit, this makes me not feel confident that that's what this is, dude. Maybe he's trying to calm you down because it's so excited over the truth. Maybe that's what that is. He's sadly a reliable leaker. Yeah, I mean, Shinobi knows what he's talking about if he talks about it. Nate the Hate said the game is scheduled for 2027. You said we won't hear about it until the end of 2027 unless major delays. The game will be out in 2027. Other miscellaneous details found on job listings include required experience with third-person titles and the fantasy genre. In my opinion, this is looking like a new God of War title with an open world setting, which could explain why it's been described as a departure from whatever has been previously done with the IP. If that wasn't the case, though, I could see them resurrecting Heavenly Sword or Legend of Dragoon. That's possible as well. I think there's a maybe 50 to 60% chance that what this is it's going to be in the God of War universe. So it's like it's not a new IP, but it will be such it'll have a different protagonist. It won't be Kratos. It'll be like, I don't know. It could be just a total departure and pivot. The fact that they say experience in the fantasy genre, that's interesting to me. That's very, very interesting to me. Legend of Dragoon. So Legend of Dragoon, just to bring it up to people, is a 1999 game. As you can see here, it's a role-playing game focused on fantasy elements, features 3 modes of play: the area map, the field, and the battle screen. In the first mode, players explore the world of Legend of Dragoon by following predetermined routes on a linear 3D map. At the end of each route are towns and dungeons for players to explore. The player can access new routes and areas as the plot progresses. In the field mode, the player navigates fully scaled versions of the locations represented on the area map, superimposed on pre-rendered backgrounds. The player can explore the environment, interact with characters, and advance the story. At important story moments, the game will explain plot elements using CGI clips. And that was made by, of course, SIE, which is why they would have rights to it. But if they were to go back to that would be a deep cut. And I would say if they do something where it's like a reboot of that IP, it would be effectively a new IP, because I think it would just be like so different from what anybody had experienced that it would just feel totally new. So that's possible as well. That's possible. What is fascinating though is that, like, I don't think anybody, at least publicly, has any idea. They've managed to actually keep it very, very secret, which is kind of amazing. That's kind of crazy that it's so secret, because I mean, you would think that something would have leaked out by now. Clearly, industry insiders know what it is. People like you and me have no freaking idea. So the guess is that it's revealed this summer with a release in 2027. I don't know, man. I don't know. Now I'm all the more intrigued. Jacob says, I did a lot of digging on this the other night, and there's almost nothing tying Cory to any of the other IPs people are speculating. That's the thing. But does that mean that he wouldn't do it if he's not attached to it? If he doesn't have experience on it, I don't think that means that he's not doing it. He could have gone to them. Like back in 2007, when people were like, hey, I think Bethesda is going to work on Fallout. Everybody was like, yeah, but Todd and those guys, they've never worked on Fallout. They have the same parent company, but like, I don't think they have any connection to it until they did. So I wouldn't say that's disqualifying. It's still possible. Jordy, thank you for the 5. With Atreus powers, I can see him being the main focus in a fantasy setting. Yeah. But they did say that it's not Atreus focused. So whatever it is, it's not Atreus focused. I struggle to imagine a God of War game where Kratos is not the protagonist without doing something like it's God of War, but the god of the Japanese pantheon of war. I don't know how I can do that. You think we can summon Corey in here with a Corey candle? I don't have a Corey candle, actually. I feel bad about that. I have a Chris Roberts candle and a Hidetaka Miyazaki candle, but I don't have, and a Kojima candle. I have that. I think Kojima's just on the other side of the Chris Roberts candle, though. Dude of battle. Yeah, exactly. Or what if it's not a new IP? It's actually a reimagining of Ratatouille, God of Vegetables. And it's just a cooking simulator. That could suck. Maybe. That could be cool. I don't know. Could be a game like The Witcher, an RPG with choices in the world of God of War. Yeah, it's just how do you specifically frame that? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Not a new IP, but will feel like a new IP. That to me says if it's a new IP, it's probably one that has not been touched in a while. Because if it was touched recently by Sony, I think it would have been turned into like a third-person adventure game. So for it to feel like a new IP, to me would suggest that it's a totally new format for it, right? So maybe it was previously an isometric game, or it was, from way back in the day where it just was much more rigid, So it's got to be something that feels very, very different. If it feels like a new IP, it screams RPG to me. So you mean like a God of War RPG? I don't know. What's throwing me off is the fantasy elements. The fact that they're saying like people they're hiring need experience in fantasy. That could just mean like you need experience with like animating magical effects, and that's the extent of it. It doesn't mean much more than that, but I don't know. I'm still pissed about the water bottle, spraying the water bottle. Maybe he's like, you're too close. You're too close. I think this would be freaking baller though, dude. I'm sure whatever it is, it's going to be great, Corey. I'm sure. Because I'm sure he's going to see this. He'll watch the clip back and laugh his ass off. The most embarrassing. Okay, it wasn't really embarrassing. I thought it was funny. There was this segment we did the other day where we were talking about Crimson Desert. I think it was this one. Where I prayed to Will Powers. Yeah. Dear Will Powers, hallowed be thy name. Thy promises be vast and expansive. Please don't overhype, but let this game be great. Yeah, he saw that and sent me a DM and was like, what? I was like, okay, I guess I shouldn't pray to people I know anymore. That's maybe a weird thing to do. Okay. Fair. My bad. Sorry. What do you want from me? Okay. So I gotta be careful. I gotta be careful. Anyway. So who knows what it is? If you have guesses and you're watching the stream clip back, then let me know what your guess is in the comments, because this is very, very interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. If I had to go out on a limb, I think it's something really old. I think it's something that we've not heard. The Dragoon thing makes sense because it would be a really old IP, beloved, but by bringing it into the modern era, it would feel totally different. Other than that, you could take an established IP. My gut tells me it's not God of War. My gut tells me it's something else. Maybe it is God of War and it's just going to be like an open world RPG with a different protagonist. But I think the most obvious protagonist to use is Atreus. So if it's not an Atreus focused game, are they going to have like Freya be the protagonist of an open world RPG God of War game? Like how does that work? I don't know. Like, I think it'd be cool to shift it and maybe you do something with like, I don't even know what you would do. I don't know. You could flip the perspectives and you could go play as like the god of war what's the Egyptian god of war? Egyptian God of War. Montu. So like, imagine if you played as Montu hunting down Kratos in an open world RPG, and then the next God of War is from the other perspective of Kratos in the more traditional, not traditional, but the like Norse saga style, where then you go at him. And so then they would achieve sort of the Last of Us Part 2 effect, where you've seen both perspectives, and they do the Uno reverse exactly and make you play as Kratos killing it. That could be cool. It worked so well with Ellie and Abby. Well, this would be different because it would be a standalone game. And as long as as long as you don't get forced to kill Kratos, I think it would work. God of Sand. Where are we going? In the direction of sand. Everywhere. What do you mean? Over there. That's where. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm interested. Yeah. Kratos loses to a golf club. Like, I'm starting to think that this is like a Sony thing. Why do they like golf so much? This is weird. Well, another new demigod would be cool because you're technically not as strong as a full-on god. Gives you somewhere to go for sure. The NPCs you kill, they have a family too. Feel sad about it. Yeah, you monster. You pig. You should feel bad for them. You should feel bad. You're a bad person. Killing all those NPCs. Anyway. And an Egyptian theme. Yeah, it would achieve that too. And it would give them the ability to build all of the assets for the God of War Egypt game and then be able to recycle a lot of them so they'd save money. I'm just saying, I think it could work. And you could even call it something totally disconnected. So it's not branded as God of War. It's like Anubis Reckoning or something like that. And so people play through it. And then at the very end, the camera pulls back and it pulls up over the desert. Like, you know, it's following the character as he walks through the desert. And then the camera pulls back till he's just small as he's walking into the endless expanse. Maybe pyramids are in the far distance. And the camera swoops up and then spins around and drops to the ground. And then you see a foot step in the sand. And it pulls up. And it follows the red stripe around his back. And you see Kratos. And you realize these are in the same universe. This is a God of War game. It's just the prequel to what's about to happen. Boom! Money, please. I think that, I you know what? Honestly, that could be cool. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. Yeah. Dude, imagine the crash outs that would happen. You just gave Corey the inspiration to kill Kratos. Yeah, do it, pussy. You won't. Yeah. I want to be at the interview with Corey. People like, so in this next God of War game, you killed Kratos in a really dramatic fashion. What was the inspiration for that? This dumbass YouTuber dared me to, so I kind of had to. So he left me no choice. He said I was a little bitch if I didn't do it. I ain't no bitch. So we killed him. That's how it has to be, man. That's how it goes. Yeah, I'd respect it. That could work. It just might work.